How's it going? Gon here. Where do I begin? This is a list of everything Super Smash Bros. Melee. Really, anything about Super Smash Bros. Melee. Here's Jigglypuff's moveset, here's the Sonic rumors, here's a description of a Melee tournament smell, and here's Sporn. What? Super Smash Bros. Melee? What kind of name is that? I like my Smash games with simpler titles, like the ones with nothing and the ones made by people that snort glue. Super Smash Bros. Melee. No doubt the most iconic and popular Smash game of all time. 20 years have passed, the game is still played by so many people, primarily in the competitive scene. People just play the heck of Melee in tournaments. Oh yeah, then we have the actual game. After Super Smash Bros. On the Nintendo 64, Nintendo didn't take long to order a sequel for their successor, codenamed Dolphin at the time. They even made a poll the same year Smash 64 released, asking the fans what characters they would like to see in their next installment, and because this was the era without third-party characters, the choices are pretty bland, but make total sense. The winner was Bowser, yes, he made it into Melee, Peach, okay, she made it in too, and then Wario, no doubt my favorite of the list, but unfortunately it didn't make it until Brawl. Well, Sakurai went on record to say that if he could only add one more character to Melee, it would have been Wario, but still, couldn't you save some space for him? Well, the development of Super Smash Bros. Melee wasn't the brightest, taking 13 whole months to make the game. That's not good. Nintendo really wanted Melee to hit the deadline, aka the GameCube's release in Japan, but even if it was 13 months, they released a pretty good game and they did release it in time, but still, I don't know if I should be worried or impressed. Who am I kidding, it's been more than 20 years, who cares. The game was unveiled on E3 2001 with the opening cinematic of the game, including some of the new characters and returning characters from 64, and curiously, if we go by the order they went on the cinematic, Sheik was revealed first and Zelda. That's pretty odd. People seemed to enjoy the trailer, and that's what matters. Not the game released November 21st, 2001, mere days after the GameCube's release date, and this was the big game of the GameCube. Many people bought the GameCube at launch just to play Melee and completely skipped Luigi's Mansion. I mean, Green Mario with a capital L in a haunted mansion is neat, but Green Mario with a capital L fighting a giant lizard is neater. Super Smash Bros. Melee is referred by many people as the best Smash game, or even say, the best game of all time. And I'm here to remind you to stop smoking socks and get a life! Super Smash Bros. Melee is amazing, there's no doubt about that. It's the most sold game of the GameCube and the most popular game of the console, and I truly think it's one of the best games out there. But we don't talk about 2018 year hardcore Melee fans, because a little something called Super Smash Bros. Ultimate launched, and oh boy, I was never the same. But right now, let's tackle Super Smash Bros. Melee and see what makes it tick. Look at this box art, there's so much going on here. It's not one of the best, 64's box art was way better in my opinion, but if I saw this in the store, I certainly would pick it up. Mario, Bowser, Link, Pikachu and all the other random characters in tiny blocks I've never heard about. This sells me right on. To start off, we have an amazing opening cinematic. Now, when we talk about the best of the series, I really don't know. Melee has great visuals and epic music, Brawl has epic visuals and one of the best themes I've ever heard, then we have Ultimate with the okay visuals but the too good of a song to ignore. Oh, then we have the other three, the neat, the beat and the nothing. Getting into the actual game, we have one player mode and versus mode. We all know how versus mode works, it's the same as the last one, nothing much to add. Now one player mode, now we have classic and adventure mode, which we'll get into later. But now let's focus on classic mode, the new characters and stages. So, base roster, 14 characters, 4 new, 10 from 64, plus 5 more unlockables. And that comes from a person that has never lied before. I lied, yes, a whopping 25 characters, from 12 of 64, this is a major upgrade. Now, let's take a look at the new characters. Ice Climbers was a cool addition. I like when Nintendo acknowledged old forgotten games, and this was one of them. This was also the first double character and I think the only one in the series. they're also fun to play. Bowser was a must-on on the second game, and not only they made him a character, but also a final boss in the form of Giga Bowser, and he's terrifying. What did Sakurai do to Bowser? Peach is fine. Who the fuck uses Peach? Zelda is cool. Since she was the first to be a 2-1-1 character, you can turn into Sheik mid-battle while using Zelda. Nice! While nothing new, we got Pyro and Mythra that do the same on Ultimate, but it was still an interesting and unique addition to the roster. Now let's get to the 0-player category, because who the f uses these? Dr. Mario and Pichu. Do yourself a favor and don't pick them. In doing that, you increase the chances of getting laid. And then there's Falco and Young Link. I understand if you use Falco, I often see myself using him instead of Fox, but Young Link? Come on, man! Nah, just pick regular Link. If you use Ganondorf or Roy on the other hand, I actually give you the pass. In a game full of clones, these are no doubt the most unique, even if I prefer the original characters. You just can't go wrong with Captain Falcon and Mars. Oh yeah, Mars! This was the first form of Fire Emblem representation in the West. I wonder how Americans reacted on unlocking these nobodies. What? Alright Nintendo, enough with the Mario presentation. We're done. Mewtwo was no doubt the most boring character to unlock. To unlock him, you had to be in the match for 20 hours, and with up to 4 controllers, it would be just 5 hours. I only have 1 controller, so f that, I decided to unlock it in the hard way, and that was playing 700 versus matches. And I did it twice. First when I played Smash on an emulator, and then the second time when I got an actual GameCube and an actual copy of the game. I mean, it's better than just have a GameCube turned on for almost a day. Who would do that? And the final character you unlock by beating target tests with every character is Mr. Game & Watch. And he's one of the best characters in the game. He's one of the most unique, and I love the Game & Watch handheld reference. I never would have imagined that this would turn into a Smash character. Now the stages. This game has some pretty darn good stages. Fourside, for example. It's just one of the best stages on all of Smash. It's so beautiful. And then Brinstar Depths. I love the theme of this track. It's a rearrangement of Kraid's theme from the original Metroid. I love it. We can also mention Poké Floats, Big Blue, Temple, and the new Final Destination. These are all pretty sick. Classic mode remained the same, but now we got a new final boss. Not only we have Master Hand, but now we have Crazy Hand, the crazier and more violent version of Master Hand. Now let's finally take a look at Adventure Mode. Adventure Mode is like a predecessor to the Subspace Emissary campaign from Brawl, but this one is a lot more grounded with no actual plot. This one focuses on exploring different worlds from other games such as F-Zero and Metroid, and completing challenges and advancing to the next stage. Beating Goombas, defeating evil Links, escape Brinstar, or just survive from a scrolling stage, anything goes here. And of course, it ends with the battle against Giga Bowser. Oh, but we also have a third unlockable mode. By unlocking every single character, you unlock All-Star Mode. In All-Star Mode, you fight every character in the game. Simple as that. It's nothing special, but a fun mode nonetheless. Another great addition this game had was the trophies. This is by far one of the best things Smash has. Even if Ultimate replaced them with spirits, I still enjoy them. Trophies are basically little collectors that you find throughout the game, and these can range from items from Smash, fighters, random characters, or the what the f***s. I'm glad we got trophies as early as the second game. It's funny how most of the characters are based on their N64 or SNES designs, primarily the Mario series. Mario Sunshine wasn't out yet, so most of the Mario trophies are 64 related. One more thing I can talk about Super Smash Bros. Melee is the OST. One of my favorite Smash renditions came from Melee. Here's some of them. Super Smash Bros. Melee is awesome and aged surprisingly well. Aside from Ultimate, I played this game a ton on the GameCube. It's not to say Brawl or 4 didn't age well, they aged fine, but Melee is one that still continues to be relevant more than 20 years later. Heck, sometimes I see more people talk about Melee than Ultimate, and we can thank the competitive scene because of that. I couldn't recommend this game enough, for competitive players and even casual players. This game is for everybody. I like Super Smash Bros. Melee, and you do too, but today I saw something that's unseenable. Some dork called Mr. Monster made a post trash talking on Melee. Wait.
Mr. Monster.
Mr. Monster?
I see this guy everywhere I go. I can't even go outside without seeing his face in a billboard.
We've got to do something about it. Let's exterminate him.